Alright, tonight's homework is some adding and subtracting fractions in word problems. So we're going to talk about how to determine if we are adding or subtracting. And then we want to make sure we answer as an improper fraction. So changing those mixed numbers into improper fractions. So we'll do a little bit of everything that we're working on in this unit. Sarah's new puppy weighed 4 1/5 pounds. After a month, it had gained 10 3/5 pounds. What is the weight of the puppy after a month? Well, the puppy started at 4 1/5 pounds, and it gained, which means it added 10 3/5 pounds. So we're just going to add those two numbers together. And I'm going to grab the whiteboard for that. So we said that we were adding 4 1/5 and 10 3/5. Now we can do this several ways. We could go ahead and pull out each of the whole numbers, 4 plus 10, and then we can pull out each of the fractions and add that. Sorry, we're getting a little glare there. Add those. I can reposition that there. Okay. So then we're going to add 4 plus 10 plus 1/5 plus 3/5. Well, we know that 4 plus 10 is 14. And 1/5 plus 3/5, well, we just add the numerator, so that's 4/5. So our answer is 14 4/5. That's one way we could do it. Then we would have to change our mixed number into an improper fraction. Or we could just change our numbers into improper fractions to begin with. So let's do it that way. So to change it to an improper fraction, you could do 5/5 plus 5/5 plus 5/5 plus 5/5 plus 1/5, because each one of these is one whole. So we add the 5/5, or we could say 4 times 5, and then we're adding one more fifth. So either one of those gets us the same number. Then we would do that same thing for the 10 tenths. Now you can see here how the 10 times 5 plus 1 all over 5 would be so much faster than writing 5/5 10 times. So we're moving from the more concrete to the abstract. So that's what we're doing when we're doing this. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to erase all this part. And we're going to do the 4 times 5 plus 1 over 5 plus 10 times 5 plus 3 over 5. And 4 times 5 is 20, plus 1 more is 21/5, plus 10 times 5 is 50, plus 3 more is 53/5. And that gives us, we're still going to have fifths over here. So 21 plus 53, 1 plus 3 is 4, and 2 plus 5 is 7, so 20 plus 50. So we get 74/5. So then our answer over here is going to be 74/5. Now, I have taught students that I want you to show your work. So we would have 21/5 plus 53/5 equals 74/5. Or you might have shown it as a mixed number and you added it that way. So then let's talk about how to change that, 14 4/5 to an improper fraction. So we have 14 4/5. Now there are several ways we've been learning. We could make a model. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's one whole, so 5/5. And if students are in this stage, that's okay. they're just going to draw 14 of these, and one of them will have 4/5. The next stage is to do 5/5 plus 5/5, 5/5 plus 5/5, and then do that 14 times and then add the final 4/5. What we're trying to move towards at the end of all this is 14 times 5 plus 4. And all that is going to be over 5. Well, maybe I don't know my multiplication facts all the way to 14, but that's okay because I can figure it out, because 14 is the same as 10 plus 4. So I know that 5 times 10 is 50, and 5 times 4 is 20, and 50 plus 20 is 70, and then I'm going to add 4 more. So I get 74/5, which is what we got when we added the improper fractions. Either way is fine. Students actually should know both ways. We've been working on this. Now let's do one that is a subtraction problem, so we know how to do that. All right, number 6. During a blizzard, it snowed 5 1/5 inches. After a week, the sun had melted 4 3/5 inches of snow. How many inches of snow is left? Well, we know that we started with 5 1/5 inches during that blizzard, which thank goodness we're in Florida and we don't have a blizzard. And then the sun melted 4 3/5, which means the sun took away, by way of melting, 4 3/5. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to solve this one. So we have 5 1/5 minus 4 3/5. Now we have several ways of solving this as well. So one way that we've been working on is the stacked method. 5 1/5 minus 4 3/5. And we're going to subtract that. Well, I cannot do 1/5 minus 3/5 because if I only have 1, I cannot take 3 away. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to take 1 whole away from my 5, and that leaves 4 wholes. Well, I can do that because 5 is the same thing as 4 plus 1. And 1 is the same thing as 5/5. So then I'm going to take this 5/5 and I'm going to add it to that 1/5, and I'll end up with 6/5. So now I have 6/5, and I can subtract 6/5 minus 3/5, and I get 3/5 remaining. And 4 minus 4 is 0, and I don't really need to put a 0 there. So my answer is going to be 3/5. So that's one method. Another method would be, we could do that same thing here. Borrow 1, add it, put it onto the 1/5, and that would be 6/5. You could do it horizontally or vertically, it doesn't matter. The other way we could do it is to turn these mixed numbers into improper fractions. And we would do 5 times 5 plus 1. So 5 times 5 plus 1 all over 5 minus, a little more room over here, 4 times 5 plus 3. So 4 times 5 plus 3 all over 5. So we have 5 times 5 is 25, plus 1 more will be 26/5. And then we have minus 4 times 5 is 20, plus 3 more, that's going to be 23/5. And if I subtract 26 minus 23, I get 3, and our denominator does not change when we subtract or add fractions. So my answer is going to be 3/5. I got 3/5 both times. So I can go over here to my paper, and we're doing number 6. So I know that this changes to 26/5 minus 23/5, and our answer will be 3/5. And so we'll put 3/5 over here. Hope this helps with the adding and subtracting of fractions.